The topic of today is
Scott Adams.
What about Scott Adams?
The fact that he is extremely racist.
The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people.
Just starting off, when it comes to like the race card, I'm normally one of those people who I have to hear it first. Because some people, you know, I love black people. I love being black. But the thing is, sometimes, unfortunately...
You know what's coming. Something's coming.
Yeah. Because listen, sometimes, unfortunately, some people would just pull the race card. It's not what the situation is.
I use that anywhere. I could be in a burger shop. Let me get a burger, large fries, ketchup. Sorry, sir. We're all out of ketchup. Oh, I see what's going on up in here. You don't have no ketchup. It's because I'm black.
Okay.
You know,
true.
There's sometimes... I remember one time I was talking to one of my friends. And he was telling me about his manager being racist.
I mean, if I didn't think I'd get crucified by all those Me Too'ers, I'd fire your ass today.
Oh, so you're saying you're not firing me because I'm a woman?
No, not just that.
So you're not firing me because I'm a black woman?
No. I didn't say that because I'd be racist and sexist.
But I was like, okay, well, describe to me a typical day. Like, what do you do? And then he mentioned that he doesn't work at all. Like, he don't be doing work. And I'm like, bro, you can't use the race card if you actually don't do work.
Yes.
You know, if you're doing something, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you're doing something, you're working hard, and then obviously he's singling you out. Mm-hmm. You're the only person. It's like, you know, there's obviously dead giveaways. But if you're really not doing anything and someone's complaining at you, bro, like, you're really not doing anything.
Exactly. What you described to me just now sounds like a reverse Karen card. Because Karens, what they do is they use their white woman privilege to F stuff up.
Yeah.
This woman is Allison Edel. This morning, she's a social media villain for calling the cops on her young neighbor.
Yeah, and illegally selling water without a permit?
Edel, being called Permit Patty online, says she was working at home upstairs, and Jordan's sales pitch was loud and nonstop.
What you just described is a black person, let's just call it a black guy here, using his black card to F stuff up, to get over on doing something that he should be doing, i.e. working, but instead of working, he's slacking off, and so now he's trying to say, oh, it's because I'm black. No, it's because you're lazy.
Exactly. This is not the case.
This is not it.
At all.
This is not
like,
it.
not even a little bit.
It's not it at all.
This guy's a full racist.
Just get the away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this. You just have to escape.
Black people are not a monolith. We're not all the same. We are different people.
If nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with them.
He even had the nerve to quote Don Lemon.
He wasn't quoting, he was misquoting him because he didn't put out the full statement. There's other things that go before that. You're taking one tiny part and saying, oh, well, this matches my opinion.
There you go.
So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where I have a very low black population because unfortunately there's a high correlation between the density. And this is according to Don Lemon, by the way. So here I'm just quoting Don Lemon when he notes that when he lived in a mostly black neighborhood, there were a bunch of problems that he didn't see in white neighborhoods.
It sounded to me like what he was kind of speaking about more so had to do with class than race. He described living in certain areas and in those areas having a tougher time because there's a higher population of black people. Unfortunately, in those areas that he's describing, which I'm gonna guess are heavily densely populated urban areas, yes, there's a high population of black people, but what there is high poverty rates. When you have high poverty rates, you have high crime rates, you have all these different things.
I was about to say something. So the area that I live in now is pretty calm, but I have lived in an area where it was not necessarily the best. It wasn't the hood.
Break yourself!
Hey! You dropped something.
Yeah! Break yourself, fool!
But it was like a block down from where the part would be bad, right? Yeah. So in my area, like my general area was safe, but the problem was that you'd have people come from the back area because it's so close to the bad area, walk in and out. So I had one instance where I had a friend who like rode his bike to my house. On the way to riding his bike to his house, someone stole his bike.
While he's on it?
Well, basically what happened is he got off of it for like 5 seconds. Someone asked like, oh, can I use your phone? And they pretty much ran it up on him. They're like, yo, give me your bike, give me your phone, give me...
Oh, they said run it?
Yeah, they run his pockets.
Oh.
So in the area I was living, everything was worse. So my complete perspective on cops, my situation, the type of people I was with completely changed my perspective of life. But then when I moved back to a better area, my quality of life is different. 100%. So if you're comparing it to the worst quality of life, then yeah, you're gonna run into worse quality people. Exactly. It's not saying that those people are bad, but if you're in a bad area, you're gonna find more likely people that are gonna do bad stuff. 100%. But here's the thing though. If you move to a lower end white area, and let's not pretend like there's not lower end white people in these bad areas either, because there's more white people in America than there are black. So the examples he's giving are they're just kind of frivolous.
He doesn't give any statistics, any data. It's all anecdotal. He even says it at one point. This is all anecdotal. Like, where is the objective evidence in what you're saying?
And I'm also really sick of seeing video after video of black Americans beating up non-black citizens. You know, I realize it's anecdotal and it doesn't give me a full picture of what's happening.
If his main problem is that, so you have extreme black people on the left who are coming out and saying all this extreme stuff, isn't he doing the same thing? Isn't he being extreme?
Essentially what he just advocated for was segregation. He said, get away from black people. Go move places where black people aren't located. That's segregation.
You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low black population.
This type of conversation that occurs in a lot of average households across America. We don't know it. And then we go to work, sit next to the people, and we shake their hands, and we laugh, we giggle, but it's the same stuff they're saying at home. That's why this stuff is not shocking to me. Now, I don't want to cast this across all white men, obviously. I mean, no one's a monolith. Not to mention, there's something else that really makes me worried, is all this polarization that's happening in the U.S., it makes me leery because I watched something recently, it was on a Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
My guy, Jordan Peterson was on it, and then some evolutionary biologist was on there. I can't remember his name. But they were talking about how on either side of the polarized groups, one of them is homogeneous and one of them is heterogeneous. So on the extreme right, you have all the same type of people. On the extreme left, you have multiple different groups coming together for their own individual causes and kind of working together. So if it was ever to hit the fan, which group has a better chance of succeeding if there was to be like a physical...
We all know this.
We know this. And who's more armed?
It's what destabilized Germany in the 1920s and 30s, right? It was this ping-ponging back and forth between the radical left and the radical right. And your point, Brett, that the radical right actually is more powerful once they get organized is a really good one because there's no fractionation.
Yeah, it's more stable.
You bet. And they have all the guns. That's another thing to think about.
Certainly, in this country, the right is much better armed, and that's a very frightening fact.
So I know I'm painting a real dark picture right now, but it's like the guy, what he's talking about, a lot of people, I'm guarantee you, it's like the Trump effect. When Trump ran for president, everyone's like, oh, he's going to lose by a landslide. Hillary's going to kick his A. What happened? Why? Because people were hushed about it, but they agree with what he said. Yeah. Same thing with this. I guarantee people are home going, man, he's hitting the nail on the head, but they're not going to tell you that.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? So, like I said, I hate going into the race thing, but obviously this is a race-related issue. You're sitting there talking about you're seeing black people beat up upon white people.
Right.
What has history been? I mean, I don't even want to go all the way into that argument, but him saying that sounds so stupid.
100%.
Every damn day I look on social media and there's some black person beating the shit out of some white person. I'm kind of over it.
Like, you sound so dumb saying that, bro. There's like, we have 100, and like I said, I'm not trying to be whole victim narrative, any of that stuff like that, but you can look through history and see what it has been. So him bringing that up to me is just the dumbest thing that he could have possibly said, right?
Spot on,
Is the dumbest thing.
Spot on.
And here's my thing. If he generally had concerns like, okay, I don't know how to help because it seems like I'm getting a lot of hate regardless of what's happening. Right. I think this is just a toxic society to live into. Right. I'm like, okay, I could kind of get you what you're saying. But you just walking around and then just being like, don't like you see a black person, you gotta go like this. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, that's...
Not to mention, he said that he used to help black people out and he got called racist for doing it. That makes no sense. Why would you be called racist for trying to help black people out?
I think it makes no sense whatsoever as a white citizen of America to try to help black citizens anymore. It's no longer a rational impulse. And so I'm gonna back off from being helpful to black America because it doesn't seem like it pays off. Like, I've been doing it all my life and the only outcome is I get called a racist. It makes no sense to help black Americans if you're white. Don't even think it's worth trying.
Yeah, I do want to touch back on the classism thing because I had a friend and he always told me, because he was a very positive thinker and he always had an optimistic outlook on the future.
Yeah.
And every time I would paint this doom and gloom picture like I kind of did just a second ago.
Send the asteroid. And start the rapture.
He'd always say, listen, man, over time things get incrementally better. And I was like, you know what? I like to believe that. But, this is what he said. He said, "Listen, we're becoming a society that's less about racism and more about classism."
But those who don't want to focus on education, you just need to get away from them.
So I say that to say, is he a racist? Sure, what he said is crazy, but
I think
he's more classist.
I think he's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. I think he's being a little bit. Like I said, I'm not one of those people who's quick. That's like every white guy is racist. They secretly hate me. Yeah. You know, they're trying to like. I'm not like that at all. But like in a situation like this, I mean, this
is about to be all over the airwaves,
man. So guys, this wraps bad decisions, man. I think Scott Adams definitely made the worst decision. I'm glad that people made the right decision and canceled his stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to burn a couple comic strips right now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what else you guys want us to cover. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, man. All right.